Hey, and welcome to another episode of SHEEN Webisodes, where sustainability meets style and the stories spark change. I'm your host, Afreed Bud, the founder of SHEEN, a brand rooted in sustainability and ethical elegance. Today, I am joined by a very special guest, Katrina Lashmar, the creative force behind a growing DIY sewing channel on YouTube and an inspiring advocate for slow fashion. Katrina's passion for thrifting, sewing, and upcycling makes her a powerful voice in reimagining how we think about clothing and consumption. Together, we are diving into a conversation that blends sustainability and creativity while exploring thrifting, DIY designs, content creation, and the hidden truths behind what we wear. So, let's get started. So, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us here on SHEEN Webisodes. We got our wonderful guest from our neighbor country, Canada, Katrina Lashmar.
That's right. Hi, how's it going, everyone?
Hi, Katrina. Thank you so much for joining us here on SHEEN Webisodes.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's really exciting.
Yes, it is my pleasure, our pleasure to have you on the show. So please introduce yourself. We'll start with that and we'll go forward.
Sure. Well, my name's Katrina, as you've already mentioned, and I guess I'm kind of a content creator. I left corporate in January because I got laid off, and I decided finally it was time for me to just go for it and do what I've always wanted to do, which is make videos. I've always loved YouTube, and so I've always wanted to make videos. And then I also love sewing and creating clothes and fashion, and that's something that I've been really passionate about and wanted to create content about. So that's why I've been doing that. And something really important to me when it comes to my content around sewing and fashion is incorporating sustainability as well, because that's something that is really important to me, seeing how many influencers there are that are promoting so much fast fashion and hauls all the time. And I don't want to be like that. I want to show people how they can make their clothes and fix things that are broken and just in general use what we already have. So yeah, that's a little bit about what I do.
Amazing. Thank you very much for a small introduction. We'll go
Yeah, of
into
course.
depth in a bit. So how did your journey start? I mean, it's of course it's a unique idea. No, not everyone do that, what you do. So how did your idea comes up, or you were just passionate about it and you start? How does it look like?
Yeah, I guess it's just something that I always wanted to do. I was sewing a lot and making fun things, and I've always been interested in fashion. I always loved doing little fashion sketches when I was younger, and always really loved art. Went to art school. And I just decided that I wanted to make videos about it because it's fun. And I used to always make videos with my sister when I was younger. And I was like, oh, I love making videos and I love doing the sewing stuff. And it'd be so fun to kind of combine that and my comedy as well that I like to do during my videos and kind of just make it fun. And then when I started making videos, they started to do pretty well. And I was like, you know what, this is something I could really see myself doing. And I wish there was a way that I could make it my full-time thing. And that's kind of what I was able to do.
Amazing. I like that. I mean, not many people are able to do it full time like you're doing it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I really credit a lot of the reason why I'm able to do it full time is with a course that I took starting in January, actually. And so I started
What
taking
course?
this course. It's called WSS Creator Club Academy. It's run by Natalie Drott, and it's just for women who want to become content creators full time. And she teaches you pretty much everything you need to know. But I'm not really doing it the conventional way that they've taught. But the great thing about the course is that you learn all of the foundational skills for your business, and growing your business and learning how to do sales, learning how to make an offer that sells, and just having that guide and that support of mentors that are entrepreneurs that have done it already was just so helpful to get me where I am now, which is great.
I see. Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. So, was it comfortable for you to be in front of the camera when you started?
Well, yeah, definitely. Like I said, I was always making videos with my sister when I was younger, and I've always been like to be on camera, just like to be fun and goofy and not take myself too seriously. And I've always been interested in acting. I did some theater before.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just
What, in school?
No, not in school. My school was so small. We didn't have a theater program. I ended up doing
Okay.
some community theater later on when I was older, which was super fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the character? I'm interested to know.
Oh, I did Murder on the Orient Express, which is like a very popular Poirot story, and I played Mary Debenham. So, yeah, it was a
Is
fun
that
one.
is that because of your hair or it
That's a good
doesn't?
question. Actually, my hair was darker before, so
Okay.
probably not because of that, but um yeah, I guess if you've seen the movie, the same actress that plays Rey Skywalker also plays Mary Debenham in the movie adaptation, but maybe I was similar to her, I don't know.
I see.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next thing we're going to talk about is, of course, you're a great content creator. I have visited your profile on YouTube,
Whoa.
and yes, we're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Amazing.
But first, we want to know from you what you do over there.
On my YouTube? Yeah,
Yes.
my long form YouTube is a little neglected, I'm not gonna lie. I need to keep doing more long form, but it just takes so much time compared to short form. So lately, we've been doing a lot of short form, especially on YouTube. And I've been posting shorts quite a bit, which I post on like TikTok and Instagram as well. And that's been super fun. But I basically just make things a lot. So one day I'll just decide like, oh, I want to make like Sabrina Carpenter's heart corset. And then I did a series making that. And the series that really helped my channel take off and my other platforms as well
Mm,
was recreating the Christian Louboutin like ballet heels. So I tried
okay.
recreating those and that ended up getting over like 30 million views across platforms, that
Wow.
series. Yeah, and so that's really kind of like what skyrocketed me with like where I'm at now, which is
Okay.
cool.
So
Yeah.
after that, did you send a message to Sabrina to thank her?
My gosh. Yeah, like I guess I did try reaching out to Louboutin and
Okay.
messaging them and I was like, "Hey, like my video did really well. Like do you want to collab?" And then they never answered cuz I don't know. They don't like
Ho
people stealing their designs, I guess.
yeah. Hopefully this episode goes to them and they might
Oh my
reach
gosh,
you
yeah.
out for
Yeah,
the
maybe they'll reach
collaboration.
out and send me the real ones so I don't have to keep making
Exactly.
them.
Yeah, I have seen a lot of people making the dresses after what celebrity wears on their
Yeah,
concerts.
totally.
So I think a lot of people want that, what they're making.
Yeah, it's a fun niche. I definitely follow a lot of the other creators that do that style of content. Like if a celebrity wears something at the Met Gala and then they recreate it. Like Kiana Bonolo comes up to mind as someone who inspires me for sure that she makes content like that too. I think my content's a little bit different than hers because I lean more comedic route and she's more like actually teaching you good stuff.
Right.
So there's different areas for everyone for sure.
Yeah. So how did you learn sewing the clothes?
But yeah, that is a good question. I kind of like decided that I wanted to learn how to sew when I was 16. So my parents bought me a sewing machine, which was super cool. And then my grandma was helping me learn a little bit, but she didn't really remember too much. And I was kind of left to my own devices to learn. And so I really just dove so deep into YouTube. And so I always tell people like you can learn anything on YouTube.
Right.
And I just like did so much research on YouTube to kind of like figure everything out that I need to know. And then that's how I got to this skill point, I guess, with sewing.
And so how many years you've been doing this sewing thing
I
now?
guess since from 2016 till now, so over 10 years.
So you think in 10 years you have learned a lot that you're comfortable sewing anything almost?
I definitely think that I know my limitations and I
Okay.
know things that would be hard and that I try to avoid. But I think for the most part, if I set my mind to something, I could probably figure it out. Think I've attempted things before that aren't when I wasn't at the skill level to do them. And I look back on them and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many things I didn't know. Like, why didn't I think of interfacing or like, why didn't I think of this? And I
Hmm.
think it's like cool to look back at those projects too. But especially with where I'm at now, I think I feel pretty confident that we can do quite a bit of things. But I know to be like, that's too much time or labor, hard
Right.
when it needs to be. Yeah.
Nice. So what was the most interesting thing you can remember that you saw and you were like, "Oh, wow, I could do this."
Ooh, like something that I haven't made yet.
You did made in the past and you were
That
very
I did
surprised
make
on
in the past.
yourself.
Oh, yeah. That's a good question. Like something that turned out really well that I made that I decided I wanted to do. I guess um one of my earlier projects, one of my earlier YouTube videos, I just was like I really love this fabric of like these old kind of like grandma pillows. And I wanted to find one at a thrift store and make it. And so I feel like that project was really cool because I was still pretty beginner. I'd taken a long break from sewing before I got back into it. And that was like me kind of getting back into it. And I was really proud of how it turned out. And I look back on that one now and it still holds up pretty well. And it was cool that I like thrifted all the materials for it and like was able to make it happen and I still use it. So I think that one was pretty cool.
Wow, that's good. So I was
Yeah.
looking at your most recent videos about the sofa that you DIY with.
Oh, yes,
And
yes.
that was so cool. I mean, I got tired just by watching the video. I was like, how did she was able to do so much work on
Oh
that?
my gosh, it seems like it was pretty quick in the video probably, but that was
Yeah.
over like a couple months because I was taking breaks because I was like, this is so obnoxious to do. So like I bought the fabric and then
Wow.
it sat for like a month and then I like started reupholstering the couch and then it sat for a bit too. And there was parts that were really tricky and I needed my partner to help me like really tug on parts and like hold it and help. So that was nice that he helped with that. And then the pillows, like sewing those was the easiest part, but the reupholstering was definitely the hardest part. But the couch holds up now. It
Okay.
was a $50 couch and now it looks really nice
Of
and
course.
it's very comfortable. So yeah, 10 out of 10. I'm really happy with that project.
Mm-hmm. Is there still more scratching on that?
No, she can't scratch it anymore. Little asshole. She's like doesn't even try with that one anymore.
She tried after, I believe, but then she stopped.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. She tried to, and then she realized that this was futile and that it's too tightly woven. The material is. I purposely chose one that I knew she wouldn't be able to get into, so she doesn't even really try anymore, which is great.
Nice.
Yeah.
So did you edit the video by yourself?
Yeah. I edit every video
That looks so
myself.
cool, the visuals, and
Oh,
especially when you're explaining the style, the idea that how you're gonna make it and the
oh
animation. That was
yes.
so cool.
I
How did you do that?
actually, instead of animating, I just used my iPad Pro. I have Procreate on it, which is like for drawing, and then I just
Yeah,
draw on there, and then it like screen records, and then I just bring that in and slowed it down and tried to do my best to kind of animate and show the pieces. But
that
yeah,
works.
totally.
So how if somebody wants to start a content creation journey on YouTube, especially, how does it look like the step by step in 2025 or 26? We can say.
Yeah, I guess it depends. Are they doing it because they want to do it for fun and they like making videos, or like is it something they want to make into a career?
We can cover both.
Okay. I mean, I guess I would recommend it to be a bit of both for people. So you do it because you love it, but also turn it into a career. But I think everyone says that it's so annoying when it's like, just start now. Like you'll regret not starting. Like you'll regret not starting earlier or sooner. So just start now. But also like just spend a lot of time filming and spend a lot of time messing around and editing. Especially, I recommend CapCut. I like CapCut, but just take your time playing around. You don't have to post the videos if you don't like them, but just take your time to actually start getting the flow of creating and try to have your own unique story. And like every video, especially for a long form YouTube video, should have a storyline, right? Like a beginning and end and a reason. And
Right.
I always say, like, especially for if you're trying to grow your following, it needs to be about your personality and not just like you're giving the audience what they want. Like, I think a lot of people, and I was doing this before too, is going down the route of like making educational videos that people just wanted to see for the actual knowledge of things. And I was like, I want people to be following me for me because they like me and they think I'm funny. And then they'll stick around for whatever I just do. If I decide to do something completely unrelated to sewing, they'll
Right.
stick around. And so that's why I started to shift more into this, like leaning into having my personality in it more. And so I recommend that too, if that's like the way you're trying to go, because you want people to be there for why you're uniquely you and not just because you're giving them the information that they need, I guess. If that makes sense.
Yes. So, I mean, once they can start like that, and then if they see like you, if they're doing well, then they can shift it to make it a career out of it.
Yeah, definitely. Because with YouTube, you could start getting monetized once you get 1,000 subscribers and over 4,000 watch hours.
Is it 3,000 now? Because I was checking.
I
some
had to
time
do it when
ago.
it was like 4,000.
Exactly, I
So
remember that.
I had
Yeah.
to grind hard, but maybe it's 3,000 now. That'd be awesome.
Now it's 3,000 hours. And for the shorts, it was like a 10 million before. Now it's like I think it's 6. They dropped down.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense just based on the way content is going because it's getting more short form. So I think encouraging people to be able to make it work with shorter form videos, I think that's more fair. Like you're not going to hit those watch hours if you're posting 5-minute long videos, even if they're great videos. It's going to be really hard compared to
Yeah.
like I was doing like 30 or 40-minute long videos, but people were viewing them the whole way through. So that's another thing too. Like I was doing knitting videos more at the time when I was getting monetized, and those videos had a really long watch time because people will put that on, sit down and listen to the whole thing while they're knitting. So they're not going to just shut it off. But if you're making like zappy all over the place, like da 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 da, like videos
Right.
for people that are just like trying to be entertained, they're more likely to click off whenever. So I think the type of audience you're looking for too matters for when you're trying to hit those watch hours. Right?
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
But I think they dropped down their the eligible thing for the monetization on YouTube.
Yeah, I definitely think that's nice. You know, I'm not going to be the grumpy like, "Oh, I had to do it when it was harder." Like, you know, I think it's awesome that it's more accessible for people now, which is
I
cool.
remember it was so easier back then when it was just like 1,000 views or 3,000 views. Like
Oh,
in
views
20,
only?
yeah. I think
Whoa.
it was in 2017. It was just like 3,000 views or 4,000 that we need, and like some subscribers, and you just eligible
That's why
for
they
the
always say you got to start
monetization.
sooner. I should
Yeah,
have started even earlier. Yeah.
exactly. Right. So you mentioned about knitting.
Yes.
What were you were making at that time?
As you can see, I have a lot of yarn behind me. Mostly garments. I don't really do a lot of like, you know, like people make plushies or different little things. I really like making wearable garments. So I was making a lot of like sweaters and tops, kind of like some tank tops here and there. Yeah, I definitely have not been knitting as much right now, but I should get back into it now that it's gonna be fall soon. Be
I
fun.
see.
Yeah.
That is good. Uh, so we'll talk about some ethical production.
Mm-hmm.
But because you can maybe answer it better because you sew by yourself. Do you
Right.
think that when you sew a clothes or t-shirt or a hoodie, and the fast fashion that sells it for like $3, $4 and $10, is that okay with the garment worker who produced that?
I mean, to me, that's like absolutely insanity. Like to be able to, you're saying $10 for a garment, like for a sweater, for example. That's crazy. Because let's say that they're using plastic, like mostly polyester materials. How much does that cost for the materials? Maybe $2 at like that's overshooting, overestimating. And then how much
Yeah.
for shipping? It's probably like $5 for the shipping. And then how much are they taking out for like marketing and blah blah blah, and like how much is the garment worker making at that point? It's and to make a sweater would take at least, I mean, for me, it would take forever, but like maybe these really skilled makers, maybe they can make 2 or 3 in a day. I don't know. But that
Yeah.
would be insanely unethical, in my opinion.
So yeah, exactly. That's that because when you do it by yourself, you know how much efforts and time does it take to make one. But when we
100%.
compare it to the other people who are, not being treated fairly and with that kind of a thing, it's, kind of hard for them.
And that's why I'm always trying to encourage people, I guess, like with my channels to sew. Because one, you're making things for yourself. They're going to fit you exactly how you want them to. They're going to be exactly what you want. And you're going to cherish those pieces more because you put all the effort into making them yourself. So you're going to keep them for longer. You're going
Right.
to enjoy them. And then you, like you said, you also understand the value that this piece holds and how much effort you put into it. And just you understand now, oh, when you see a sweater at Target, you're like, holy moly, like someone actually made that. I think a lot of
Right.
people don't realize how much like humans actually make our clothes. I think there's a lot of people that don't realize that. There's someone who has to sit there and push the fabric through a machine. It's not all automated now. It's not possible. I think that's
Exactly.
something people are missing because we're so blind to, I mean, a lot of industries where we know nothing about where our food comes from. We know nothing about where our clothes come from. And there's some gaps in that. And I think it causes a lot of, like complacency amongst people to just think like, oh, well, who cares? I'm busy my day-to-day life. Why would I care where my clothes come from? But it matters.
Exactly. That's what I remember. I was talking to one of our previous episodes. I had a guest, and we talked about the same thing, that the
Yeah.
time they put in, it just does not make any sense. And especially, we also talked about the topic about Gen Z, because the fast fashion that we wear right now, we don't know about the stitching quality. We just
Yes.
think like that, that's the one. But when you do it by yourself, or you wear something tailor made or ethically made, that they actually use the yarns to make the fabric, and actually put their heart and time to stitch it, you'll see the stitching quality.
And that's so true too. Like there's these brands nowadays who are relying on their names for there to be for people to buy from them because they're like, "Oh, this is I'm just going to call people out like Lululemon." They got in a lot of, controversy recently because Costco started selling a really similar sweater to them and they were like, "Hey, you can't sell that." And it turned out the Costco one was pretty much the exact same stitching and quality as their version. And I had one of the old version from like years and years ago of that sweater that Lululemon was talking about. And I was looking at it and mine has the back panel in the back for the airflow and the breathability. And I went into the stores recently to look at this newer version. There's no back panel anymore. So even there's no ventilation now. And I'm like, well, where's the ventilation part? And they're like, oh,
Right.
we don't have to do that anymore because the fabric is improved, so you don't need that. And I was like, really? And then I'm like, then why do you have the design of it? It's just like having fake pockets. Now you have fake ventilation. And it's just these things that are so frustrating because they're going off the fact that like I have one of those sweaters from 10 years ago that's really nice quality and I'm going to go back and think like, oh, maybe I'll get another one 10 years down the line that's in a different color and it's going to be the exact same quality and then it's garbage. I could have gone to Costco. They're taking advantage of people who don't know how to sew garments themselves. Like this happened the other day. I went to Aritzia. My friend's like, oh, I bought a bunch of stuff from there, which like really good quality, like you always say to do, Katrina. And I was like, I would be wary because they go off their name being popular and people know that they're good quality. And then maybe 20% of the stuff is really, really nice still. And then about 80% of the stuff is like messy stitching. I filmed some clips and I have to put the video together still, but like the stitching is messy. Where's the cotton and the linen? It's all like plastic. It's all polyester. There's like their wool coats are like
Yeah.
mostly polyester.
Polyester.
And the stitching is garbage. The pressing is like crooked. The seams don't line up. The pockets don't line up. The buttons don't line up. And it's
Right.
like, what are the conditions that are causing the quality to be so bad? And then also, why is it expensive compared to other things for the quality still being bad? None of it makes sense. And it's because you
Exactly.
can't even ethically have good quality for the prices that are more expensive. So there's just so many issues that it's hard to even tackle at this point. It feels pretty hopeless.
Yeah, it is like this nowadays. So because you know about stitching, if a
Yes.
person like me who don't know about nothing about stitching, and they go and buy just a casual wear like a t-shirt or a sweatwear, what is the quality they have to look for in stitching?
I would just say, looking for, especially for like just a plain t-shirt, let's say, the stitching should be straight. It shouldn't be all crooked. There shouldn't be like jumps in the stitching. And these are actually so interesting because there's this influencer, I can't remember her name right now, but she made a clothing line, with pajamas and stuff. And one of them was like a stretchy, like, let's say like a t-shirt material. And it was all like crooked or like kind of squished together, you know? And she was like,
Wow.
well, it's made by humans. And like, of course there's going to be issues. And I'm like, girl, I sew all the time and I don't have those mistakes. Like, what are you on right now? Like, yes, you can make straight seams, bitch. It's not that hard. But, so that was like really funny to me. I'm like, obviously your practices are unethical. You have no idea. You've never sewn anything in your life. And you also just are just trying to make money. Like that to me says you're just trying to make money. You don't care. And that really pisses me off. But yeah, if you're looking to buy something, make sure it's not see-through unless you want it to be see-through. But usually it shouldn't be see-through, which is another issue this influencer had. Make sure the stitching is straight and it's not like coming together. And make sure, yeah, everything looks straight and nice and tidy. And it's usually pretty easy to tell. Make sure that they snipped all the little threads and that sort of thing too. Like that really shows
Right.
quality as well.
That makes sense. Thank you for sharing me that experience.
Yeah, of course.
I remember we spoke about hauls too last time.
Oh my gosh.
What about them?
I hate it. I hate everything about hauls. They're so frustrating because just why? Why do you need so much garbage? It doesn't make sense. Like I feel like I buy maybe like one new garment a month, I would say on average. Maybe I buy like 12 new garments a year. And I'm able to be making it as a content creator. You don't have to be doing hauls all the time to like, you know, you can't sell your soul so much. It's hard. I get it. I get things in my inbox all the time from brands like SHEEN or like other companies that are like, hey, let's send you all this stuff for free. And then you make a haul
Yeah.
video. And you can't sell your soul for that, especially because they're not paying them a lot of the times. They're just sending you stuff for free too, which is worse.
I see.
So it's just like, I don't know what the point of it is at this point. I hope people realize that this is not realistic to be getting and consuming this much. But who knows? Like maybe people do think that's realistic. I don't know.
Yeah, I think like SHEEN is everywhere. Because I remember I was talking to some other influencers too. I mean, if you have a good reach and something like that,
Yeah.
they just reach out to you and say like, hey, we have a gifted collaboration if you want to do or something like that.
100%. This
So-
is a crazy take, and this is like, you could cut it out if it's too political, but out of all the things, I'm Canadian, so obviously like I'm very much not agreeing with the tariffs. I think it's a little bit cuckoo, but
Okay.
I guess one good thing about it maybe is that it's preventing people from like buying so much fast fashion. That's like the only, like, I'm trying to find the silver lining in it, and I'm like, maybe the silver lining is that people are consuming less fast fashion because you don't have that I can't remember what it's called, but when you're under a certain threshold of price for the goods, you don't have
Okay.
to pay a certain amount. And so SHEIN was using that a lot, which is why you see people getting packages that are like everything's packaged separately and you're not just getting your order all together. It's because, and minimum, I think it's what it's called. And so now they've removed and minimum, so you can't just like not have to pay on these small orders. And it's probably hurting these big fast fashion companies. So the silver lining maybe.
Yeah,
but,
right.
I mean, other than that, it's all just bad news for sure. But
Yes. I mean, I don't think we have to cut this part.
yeah, I was like I said, it's up to you, but I just think like maybe there's some hope with that at least. I don't know.
Right. So we're gonna just go over some questions that
Yeah,
we
totally.
see online people are asking. I don't know
Ooh.
what they are, but
Yes.
we'll see. Oh, what is the most beginner-friendly thing to sew?
Ooh, that's
I think
controversial.
this is a good controversial. I think
No,
this is a
I
good
just think
question.
there's different there's varying opinions. Not controversial in
Okay.
like a bad way, but like I think the easiest things to sew are just you get some stretchy fabric and just mess around like with a shirt or something. I think a lot of people think stretchier fabrics are harder, so then they would say non-stretch fabrics and make like some pajama pants. I'm trying to
Okay.
think what would be easier though. Like really, really bare, like you just have to do straight lines. Maybe like a scrunchie. Those are popular. I think that's like really easy to get started as scrunchies. Final
Okay.
answer. I'm locking in.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let me see what else. Yeah, what is the easiest item of clothing to sew?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the same thing.
Same vibe. Yeah, the
Yeah.
scrunchie.
Oh, when you first learning how to sew, what should you remember?
A lot. No.
A lot?
I guess the one thing you should always do when you're learning how to sew that will change your life is just press your damn seams every time. So every time, like, press all the fabric before you start. Like, as in pressing, as in, what's the other word? Iron your fabric.
Oh,
And
okay.
then
Okay.
every time you sew a seam, you iron the seam, like iron
Yeah,
it flat and then open up the seam and then iron it open. And
right.
iron your seams every single time. The difference in the quality of your work is it's huge. You'll see such a huge difference, and it's really important to do. Like, do as I say, not as I do. I definitely don't do it every time, but it definitely makes a big difference in the quality, and it's an easy way to step up your game for sure.
Right. I agree. I remember I see my mother doing that every time before and after, she
Yes,
always, iron the clothes
exactly.
to
Yeah, you
make
want to
it,
make it all
yeah,
crisp, right? It
right.
lasts. It makes a difference.
I remember you were doing iron on your sofa when you were putting that on
Yes, yeah,
after that.
exactly. I was trying to iron the edges because it was getting all crunchy.
That makes sense too.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
How long does it take you to learn sewing clothes?
Hmm. How long does it take to learn? I feel like you can start like in a day. You can start doing stuff and making things. And then to get pretty proficient, I would say like if you're consistent, maybe a month, you can start to get good. And then it's one of those things that's kind of like a lifelong skill, like you never stop learning, but you can pretty much, after days learning, definitely get the feel for starting to make things for sure.
That's a good one. So
Yeah.
it's easy to start if you want to start.
Yeah, exactly. Like it doesn't hurt to start. And once you start, you can definitely, start making stuff.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think we have covered about content creation. Anything you want to share about content creation if you want to start, somebody wants to start?
Yeah, definitely. I guess if someone wants to start content creation, yeah, don't be scared. I think like some of the things that I hear from people is that they're trying to do it and they want to do it, but then they're too scared to post. And I know someone who like knows me that I'm telling her this all the time, so she knows I'm talking about her. But like, it's like you just gotta bite the bullet and do it. But it takes the right type of personality too. You have to understand that people are going to be really awful sometimes. And as soon as you hit a certain threshold of views, I think once you hit like maybe 500,000 to 1 million, that's when you're going to start to reach audiences that are not aligned necessarily with who you are. And you're going to start to get a lot of hate comments and a lot of nasty people in the comments. And you have to be ready for that, you know? You have to be able
Can
to
you
handle that.
share a story that happened with you?
My gosh. Yeah, I guess one funny. Are we allowed to swear on here? I've been holding back, but
What happened?
I said, are we allowed to swear? Like curse?
Sure.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
like,
I don't know. I don't know.
I guess you can bleep things too in post, but
Okay.
I guess I'm trying to like gauge
Okay.
how I can speak on
Okay.
this. But I guess one of the videos I posted was just a silly little, I didn't even think of it. I just made a little compilation on Instagram of like some of the things that I made, and I was like, oh, I like sewing for like the superiority complex of like knowing that I'm able to make the things that I'm wearing. Just something funny like that is the text
Okay.
on the video. And then some guy commented like, oh, it would be great if they fit you. I was getting a lot of like body shaming comments, I guess. And
Okay.
then I looked at his profile. I can tell like he's all about lifting, and so I was like, oh, I bet I
Okay.
can lift. You're like such a man baby, and it's probably because I lift more than you that you're jealous. And then he was like starting to argue with me, like, that's not true, blah blah blah. I bet you can't even squat 50 pounds. And I was like, well, I used to do powerlifting, so that was my warm up, girl. Like, no. So it's just funny how people will like talk shit on you, but then when you spin it on them, then they're arguing about nothing, and it's funny. I don't know. I
Okay.
like
Oh, wow.
rounding up the trolls. Like I'm not the type to just like ignore it. I like to like make funny responses. So if you go like see my comment sections, if it's a popular video, where there will be haters, I will definitely be responding to them in funny ways, hopefully.
Okay.
So
I'll have a
yeah.
look.
Yeah, definitely. But there's a lot of like just dumb stuff like that. Like you need to find Jesus and stuff like that. Or you're a whore. You're dressed like a prostitute. Just like stuff, I don't know, stuff like that. And I'm like, what?
God.
It's so funny. But I think it's just because of my body type. Like I think a girl that looked different than me wearing the exact same thing probably wouldn't get those comments. But because of the way I look, I think so I think it just depends. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
maybe that's just
everybody
me.
has their own unique shape.
Exactly, yeah. And if I'm more
That's
like
on
well
them.
endowed, people are gonna be like, "Oh, you look like a whore." And it's like, well, it's not my fault that I was blessed, you know? It's like I don't know what to do about that.
Oh wow, that's funny. I'm sorry, I'm laughing, but
No, of course. You're meant to laugh. That's the point. Like that's why I like to respond to these people because it's so stupid. It's funny.
yeah. What about the positive response? Let's talk about them too.
Yes, sure. I
Yeah.
guess like positive responses, there's so many, right? Like the positive so outweigh the negative, which is so fun. And I think the part that's really funny too is if I like, sleeping and there's some stuff going down in the comment section overnight and I wake up and I can see like the hater, but then there's like 15 replies from like super amazing, sweet angels, like defending me and stuff out. And it's like, I don't even have to
Yeah.
say anything and I don't want to delete the bad comment because
Right.
all of my
Of
girly
course, all
pops
the
are in there.
engagement
Yeah,
too.
exactly. Like being sweet and defending me. So I'm like, it's totally, like they got what was coming to them. And just like, I always tried to say like with my comments and like my community, when people are being haters or just like rude, I'm like, one, you are not welcome here. This is not a safe space for you. I will call you out. I will make you uncomfortable. And then two, like, this is not a safe space for you in the sense that you cannot hide behind the idea of anonymity. Because we don't do that around here. Like, I fully believe if you're commenting on a public platform and you have your name in your Instagram handle and you have a picture of you in your Instagram handle, like I have full reign to screenshot your comment and blast you and people can go leave hate to you because if you're going to play that silly game, there is going to be consequences. And I know a lot of people like try to blur the name or whatever. I'm like, I'm never doing that. You
Okay.
made that choice, sir, to post that comment. You are on a public space. You can enjoy the
gosh.
consequences. So those are the rules. Those are the rules in my
Okay,
community.
so you don't play. You just like,
No.
okay, if you want some, come get some.
That's right. No holds bar here. You're gonna come in here. We're gonna scrap. It's gonna be like that,
I
right?
see. Okay, so just be careful next time
Exactly,
whenever you go to
exactly.
Katrina's profile.
That's right. You
But
gotta be kind and respectful.
yeah, but what about first time, the very first time you saw those comments, the negative ones? How was your reaction? Or you were just like a chill person from the beginning?
You just chill like that. I think
Okay.
it's so funny because I guess like my high school experience, I had to deal with like haters in real life, and so I got so used to it
Okay.
that like when I started posting videos, I was already so trained on how to respond, I guess. And then the funny part too is like I never got any really hate comments. The first comments that I got that were hate comments were about my cat. And I said, oh, hell no, we are not being mean to Luna. Luna is queen. And they're just like, oh, she's so ugly and wrinkly. And I'm like, you suck. And also, it's the people, it's the guys who like, I know you like Star Wars. I know you like weird little alien creatures. And then you're coming for my cat that looks like an alien. I'm like, you're such a hypocrite. I know it, It's just like, so that really made me angry. And I was like, you would defend my cat. But then, when they're coming at me, I'm like, I don't really care. But like, don't come
Okay.
for Luna. That was
Don't come
upsetting.
from Luna.
I think if
Okay.
anything, it's not really hate comments, but the comments that were more disturbing when happened when I first started was like really creepy men. I'm sorry, I keep saying like men generalizing, but it's usually men leaving hate comments for me. So
Okay.
that's like where
I'm
this is
sorry on
coming
their
from.
behalf.
Oh, no, you don't have to. You're so sweet. But it's like, then I was getting really gross comments from men. And that was my bad because my first sewing video I posted was making like leather pants. And so that's
Okay.
on me. I didn't realize that was a fetish thing. And I was like, oh,
What
right.
about them? I don't know.
I guess there's a lot of like, there's like a huge fetish scene for like leather in general and like latex and like that's a big thing in the kink community, I guess. And so I did not really realize that because I was just making like normal looking like leather pants and I'm just some girl doing that. And then I was getting all these like thirsty men in my comments, and I was like, no, this is not, this is for,
Oh,
I'm sewing. Like, this is not the space for this. And then the rest of like my growing on YouTube was really annoying because then YouTube kept pushing me to those kind of people. And I was like, no, what is happening? Like,
oh,
I'm trying to be like, have like probably, I'm guessing more of a like women skewing audience, and my demographics were skewing like way higher male. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I'm sewing. Like, this
I
is
see.
crazy. And then when I really started to lean into knitting more, I think that helped push my
Mm,
channel on the right track and getting the right audience. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's a good thing that I did that. And then now we have a really great
I
audience,
see.
mostly
Uh,
women.
I'm glad.
No creepiness. Yes,
All right.
exactly.
Which platform you love the most to work on?
Ugh, that's a good question. I really like YouTube is like my home. That's like the platform I love. I have so much fun with. And like I love making long form. I just need to like sit down and do it. So that's really like the platform that that's the reason why I started. I just love YouTube. But I would say I like Instagram a lot because I find that it works really well.
Okay.
Like I
In
just
what
get good
sense?
engagement on there for some reason. And so I'm like,
Okay.
I like that one for the engagement. And then I like TikTok for like the silliness of it all, and just like I can post like dumb, ridiculous stuff on there, and it's just fun, right? So I like all
I
the
see.
different platforms for different things for sure. The ones that I'm on, at least.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. Did you ever get strikes on YouTube?
Did I ever get what? Sorry?
Strikes? The channel
Oh
strike?
my gosh, no, because I never do
Ah, I'm
anything
glad.
naughty. That would be, but I mean, yeah. I can be controversial, but not that controversial. And I never showed like any nudity or anything like leaning like that, which is why it was so weird. I was getting
No,
these creeps because I was like,
no,
you
sometime
know,
copyrights. I mean, the copyright
oh,
strikes.
copyright
Yeah.
strikes too. I didn't even think of that because I'm so careful with copyright.
Okay.
I guess because I've been listening to YouTubers for so long that have like spoken so much about copyright that I have been pretty careful to avoid it. Although I will say, and I didn't get any strikes like on my channel, but I got a video like demonetized before for sure. One of my videos that got demonetized was my booba video. So stupid. I just made the video about like this kids show that I remembered that I thought was hilarious. Completely
Uh-huh.
unrelated to the rest of my content, but it was just really fun. And they claimed it. The booba people claimed my video. And I said, no, girl, this is fair use because you're
Okay.
allowed to like do reaction and commentary. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did enough transformative, what have you. Like, I know the rules around fair use. And so, I made an appeal and I said, no, this is fair use. And then they waited too long to approve or deny, like, the booba people. And so then it got dropped because they never responded. And so I won that, right? And so now it's monetized. But you just have to appeal. And I would recommend to, like, if you are struggling with that, upload your video first without it going live so it can get checked.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you can wait. But then when they don't like respond back it lasts for a whole month, and then you're stuck for a whole month waiting. So then that sucks too. So
Right.
yeah.
But now I think even you beforehand, YouTube checks it before
Yes,
you
like
start
while it's
upload.
uploading.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So if there's this,
But then if there's a problem and it gets flagged, then you can leave it like scheduled, right? And then like do a appeal.
I
And
see.
then if the appeal is responded to, hopefully soon, then you can upload your video once it gets appealed. But the appeal can take like 30 days, like I said, because they have 30 days to respond. But they don't care because they have automatic systems in place, these big corporations that just like flag everything. And then you have to appeal, and then it takes a month for them to respond. And then they'd never respond because it's an automated system. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of the
Okay.
annoying thing.
Reminds me of my old days on YouTube.
Oh, I would love to know more about, like, when did you start? Or, like, did you ever have, like, copyright issues on YouTube as well?
So the very first channel I started was in 2017 with my friend,
Okay, cool.
and I didn't know nothing about copyrights or all that. So
Right.
I was uploading movie clips,
Oh, no.
and of course they claim it later on, and then I was eligible for demonetization. But then I learned more from the gurus and all that. And, you have to make your own content. You have to be more careful with the copyright thing. Otherwise, they're going to claim your video. And of course, the whole video is yours. Everything is okay. But if you use one clip, the 100% goes to them.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things. And I did that. I still have one channel called Various Info
Nice.
that I started. I would not recommend anybody to go and check out.
Everybody go check it out.
Yeah, because that was my early days. I feel embarrassed, but I did not
Fair.
delete that. I
Right.
said, okay, let it be
Let it
like
cook.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Well, that's the thing that's annoying is because, like, even if you use that 1 second clip, that's technically fair use if you're using it, like, in a fair way. And so you can appeal it. But like I said, the appeal process is super annoying. But
right.
you are, like, legally within your rights to do reaction and commentary videos.
Yes, exactly.
You just have to, like, yeah.
You have to put
Go through
something unique about yourself in the video, like as you said, like a reaction or something like that. You could use that.
Yeah, I mean, there's like hundreds of people who do that. Like Curtis Connor, for example, does like reaction style videos where he'll choose a topic and he like talks about it. Or Drew Gooden, like all these people. And, I mean, this is kind of the reason why we're able to do this now is because of the lawsuit between like Ethan Klein and Matt Haas. And lawsuit actually really set the precedent for fair use and really helped a lot of us YouTubers out. We should always be like, shout out to Ethan for making sure that we're allowed to have fair use now because he won that lawsuit so that we can do reaction videos and that is fair use on YouTube, which is like pretty interesting. So,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, so that's how I started, and then I stopped because I got into other things, and
Right.
that was pretty much it.
Fair enough.
And now uploading the webisodes on YouTube.
Yeah, so now
Thank
you're doing
God.
the webisodes.
Yeah, thank God no strikes.
Good. Yeah, because it's kind of a type of content that I feel like could be hard to get strikes on this, especially like there won't be any copyright issues because it's all, original
Right.
content and
Right.
some pretty
Shouldn't
laid back.
be like that, I hope.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I haven't had any issues with my channel with that stuff at least, which is good. So
Right. Oh, nice talk we had regarding this. I love that.
100%. Yeah, it's very good vibes.
Yeah, anything else because you're on this platform you want to share about this?
Yeah.
Or something new?
About something new. I don't know. I think there's always new stuff coming up with YouTube and everything, and just definitely staying ahead of the curves, staying ahead of the waves of like what's going on, I think is really beneficial, especially because like let's say a trend happens on TikTok, it's always going to be 2 weeks later on YouTube. So if you're right on the cutting edge of the trend on TikTok, you'll be like starting the trend on YouTube, and then that's super beneficial too to doing well. But YouTube more than other platforms really praises consistency. The more you're consistent, the more you will get pushed out. So if you just make a bunch of shorts and schedule them for every single day at 8 a.m., the like exact same time, that you will start to get pushed out for sure because they really want consistency. Even if you're only posting once a month, if you post exactly every first of the month at 8 a.m., you're going to start to do better because YouTube likes that for some reason. So
They like consistency.
They do like the consistency. Yeah.
I see.
100%.
So being a creator, we gonna talk about being sustainable into it.
Yes.
Not in the fashion, but being sustainable as a creator, like not making things overcomplicated.
Yes.
How a person should go that they don't get overwhelmed and be okay with, be consistent making the content.
And that's the thing is you kind of have to let go of a lot of the perfectionism, or I've had to at least. And that's why Shorts has been so helpful, like YouTube Shorts and like short form videos in general, because it doesn't take me as much time to edit and I can be a little bit more free form with it. And I'm able to be more consistent because it's not like, in my head, there wasn't so many rules around it, but I have to apply that, and I would recommend to apply that to long form as well. Sometimes I just get hung up like really trying to add a bunch of editing and like take my time to make it fun. But then sometimes I tell myself like, oh, you know what? Just you don't have to be doing all that. Like it's still going to be a fun video, so just keep rolling with it. And then that was really helpful too, because for a while there I was posting every single week on YouTube, like for long form. Obviously, I'm not doing that right now, but that was really helpful for sure.
So when are you coming back? I see the last video was like 4 months ago. We
Oh
need
my
more.
gosh, no. I know. Well, I have one that's like 90% done editing, so I could probably just get that one up soon. And then this short form series that I'm doing right now, making this armor bodice, I could probably do a long form video for that as well. So I might try to do that. So I'm hoping soon. There is some really, really busyness like coming up with my work recently where I was just like had so much on my plate, but I think it's starting to smooth out now and I'll have more time for my own content, which will be great. Because that's the thing about being a content creator is like I'm not making money from making content myself. I'm doing this for fun right now. A lot of the reason why I'm able to like do like have a job as a content creator is because I'm making content for other people for their pages, for
Okay.
brands and stuff like UGC or like different kinds of things, right? So a lot of the times I would say maybe like 10% of my income comes from my own content. So it's really not a lot. And it's because I don't want to be taking deals with companies that I don't agree with for my
Right.
pages, right? Like I
So,
want to be really careful.
right. So how do you find people who are aligned to your values and how do you reach out to them?
It's really random. It's really hard. It just every once in a while I'll come across a company that I like and I'll try to reach out to them. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Um, Sometimes luckily like I'll stumble across one on one of the platforms that I use for connecting with brands. Like that was one that I worked with called Cleaner. That is these filters that you can add to your washing machine to help catch microplastics from washing your clothes, which is super cool because a lot of the times if you're thrifting pieces or just have pieces you've owned forever, a lot of clothes have polyester in them, but then that sheds so many microplastics into our waterways. And so their product is really cool. It helps catch like 90% of those microplastics. So that was one that I was super excited to collaborate with because that's so important to me too. And then another one I did was like someone who teaches how to use your serger. Like that's something I care about. Like here's how to use this sewing machine that people struggle with a lot, and she helps walk you through it really carefully and slowly. And so, kind of supporting what I'm doing too. So that one reached out to me, and it's just luck. I find lately is luck. Like when these brands reach out to me and it works out, then it works out, and I'm super happy. But a lot of times it doesn't, and I have to turn them down a lot of the times. But yeah, I'm gonna sneeze. No, it went away.
Oh
That's so
God.
bad. That's the worst. We're about to
That's the
sneeze and then
worst.
it stops.
And it stops. Yeah,
It's true.
that's the worst. Look at
Totally.
the light.
My gosh, smart. Yeah. But we're all good now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we don't have to cut this part.
No,
I
you
don't
can
think.
leave my weird
Okay.
sneeze moment.
Yeah, that's a good way to monetize it then.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so I believe like looks like we're almost the time of our episode, and I'm still loving enjoy talking
Yeah,
about what we have to discuss is something unique, and of course we get other guests on our episodes, but not all of them are content creator like you or
right.
can share the insights. But
Totally, totally.
I love the way to look, that side too. How
Yeah, I
does it
mean,
look
I
like?
think it's super helpful. Like, I think you usually talk more about fashion and sustainability, but I think content
Yeah.
creation it's definitely something I'm interested in because I do it. That's like what I do. So, yeah, I think it's super cool.
No, but of course, the thing we discuss about being sustainable in content creating,
Hmm.
and of course, the thing that you're doing kind of supporting slow fashion because you're making things by your own
Yeah,
and
100%.
upcycling mainly and thrifting. I remember you told me that the fabric that you buy for everything is from the thrift stores.
I usually try my
And
best to do mostly from thrift stores, and then if I can't
right,
find it, then try my best to find like organic materials like cotton or linen, etc. From like, but then like I'm not perfect, right? Like I break those rules. I'm not really strict, so I'll do my best to find from the thrift store. If not, I'll do my best to do like cotton or organic, and then if not, you have to live life as well. Like there's a fine line between like there's gray. I always find the best way to be is like in the gray zone. Like, not we can't convince everyone to be vegan, for example. But if we were
right,
able to tell everyone to eat meat less, like one less time a week than they normally do,
yeah,
that would make such a bigger difference than
It
like a
does.
small amount of people being vegan, right? So if we can
Right.
convince like more people to be just a little bit more conscious, like if everyone's bought 5 fewer things per year, that would make such a huge difference
Of
already.
course.
Or like
Right.
if people switched their thrifting 1 times out of 5 of their mall shopping, for example, or online shopping, that would make such a huge difference too. So it's about finding like that balance for sure. And then I think there's also a lot of onus for the companies as well. Um, we can't have all of the onus on the consumer. Unfortunately, no one's holding companies accountable. And so a lot of it does fall on us as the consumer, but doing our best to be conscious of it is important.
Yeah.
But I don't blame people if they're still consuming and still shopping fast fashion or still like there's reasons why it's not possible for everyone necessarily. And there's reasons why we can all do better. So it's all like gray, right?
I
There's not these like
understand.
big black and white like you have to be this way or you're not doing it right kind of thing because I feel like that's not going to work for anyone. And that's what
Right.
like I have my platform and I try to spread and it's
Mm-hmm.
usually really positive and fun vibes and we're not like all doomsday about like sustainability because that's not going to reach anybody if I did that. My goal is to reach the most amount of people, to convince the most amount of people. Like, look at if you made things more. Isn't that fun? But also, you're like actually way more sustainable if you're doing this, you know? Like that sort of
Exactly.
thing.
Add a touch of being sustainable that to whatever you do.
Exactly. Sprinkle that in
Right.
so people start to like get the
Exactly.
message.
And
Yeah,
yes, one step at a time.
exactly.
The
Exactly.
goal, the actual goal is to being 100% sustainable.
Yes,
But of course, we all understand and we all know that's not possible for now because the thing that we are around right now. But, being
exactly.
sustainable one step at a time, getting better by less, 5 things less a year, as you mentioned, you make a huge difference.
Make a huge difference. Yeah,
Right.
especially, I mean, I think what's interesting, I don't know if you talk about yourself as much on these, but I think your background is so interesting too, where you're telling me that were you from Pakistan, I believe?
Yes. Right.
And like you saw firsthand, um, like the atrocities of these fast fashion companies and what this causes. And I think that's such an interesting perspective
Oh,
that
wow.
you
Thank you
have.
for remembering that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's something that to me is so important. And as like a Westerner who like has lived in North America my entire life and has never even been to that part of the world, it's easy for us to like forget about the people who are impacted. And that's why it's important to me to try to have people remember these people and that they're real people too. And like that it's not just some like random thing that's happening on the other side of the world that we're not aware of. Like it's important to know that where your clothes are coming from, who's
Right.
being affected, how
Right.
is this hurting these people, you know?
Exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, thank you for that. And yeah,
Yeah.
start your own show. I'll be the first guest in that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, exactly. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. And
Totally.
not just even clothing and being unethical in that countries, but
Yeah.
because I have put my feet in this water of this sustainability thing and ethical thing, even in the US and
Yeah.
Canada and Europe, people are also being not treating fairly.
100%.
It's
Yeah.
not in just that country's problem, it's also here. That we need
100%.
to spread the awareness, spread the voice, and let the people know what's happening. So at least some can, take a positive step towards this on.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like a bigger issue with capitalism in general and like garment workers not being treated fairly. And I would say like, yeah, like in North America, we have probably way less garment workers than other places of the world, but they're still treated unfairly. But our people that are treated unfairly are like factory workers here or like Amazon delivery people, and, like just delivery people in general are treated really unfairly here. And trying to remember like, what can we do to make a difference? There's not a lot we can do in those cases, but I think, yeah, like with fast fashion, at least there's a tangible difference we can make, which is consuming less and just hoping that all these governments, because like you said, it's not just a country's problem,
Yeah.
it's an entire problem around the globe.
Right.
Every single country has this problem because we're
Right.
all allowing it. Actually, the only country that I think is trying to do something right now is France, is what I've heard, is they have banned hauls.
Right.
No more haul videos. Influencers can't do haul videos for fast fashion brands anymore. You can't
Exactly.
be paid by fast fashion brands to advertise them, which is so huge and like such a step in the right direction. And I wish more countries would follow suit,
Yeah, that was a
basically.
big news.
It was
Yeah.
huge. Yeah, super
Yeah.
important that they're doing that.
Thank you, France. Hashtag.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing all your insights. I feel like talking more about the negative comments, but
Gosh, yeah, I can show you them whenever. Maybe I should make a video about it. That'd be fun.
yeah, you should.
Yes.
I'll be watching that.
Yes,
So
that'd be fun.
I think that I mean, we had a wonderful conversation. Thank you again, Miss Katrina
Yeah.
Lashmar, for
Thank
joining
you.
us here on Zacian Webisodes. Anything you want to share to those haters before you go?
Really, I have nothing to I mean, at the end of the day, I just don't really care that much.
Okay,
But
what about the good people?
the good people, try to consider where your clothes come from. Try to consume a little bit less and but still have fun. Like make things and try being creative, and you'll see how much joy it'll bring your life to be creative. And you guys can check me out if you want on, YouTube
Please.
at
Yeah.
Katrina Lashmar. It's just my name, and then same thing on Instagram. My handle's at Katrina Lashmar. Same thing on TikTok. So I'm
TikTok.
kind of on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube mostly. You guys want to check me out?
Perfect.
But yeah.
Definitely, please go check out Katrina, and especially the last video that she put on about the sofa. I love
Yeah.
that one. And I'm going to be watching more. I'll be following you. And
Thank
all
you.
the links that she mentioned, you can find it in the description.
Yes.
And you can check out from there.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you
Okay.
so much for having me.
Of course, it is a pleasure. And thank you to you guys too for joining us here on Zacian Webisodes. You guys have a great day.